on tonight's Gwinnett Prep Rally. The regular season is winding down and several teams are looking to fly to the top of the region standings. The Shiloh boys are still alive for the Region 8 title, but would have to fight off a stiff challenge from visiting South Gwinnett in front of a raucous home crowd. The Lady Comets are trying to hold on to the number 2 seed in Region 8, but would have to pass a stiff road test against the pesky Shiloh Lady Generals. In Class A, the Wesleyan boys and girls are looking to end the regular season in style as they take on visiting Pinecrest Academy. This is the place for all your Gwinnett County hoops action, so sit back and relax because GPR is back on your television right now.
For more than 15 years, your source for Gwinnett County sports is Gwinnett Prep Rally.
Hello again and welcome to your county's original high school sports television program. This is Gwinnett Prep Rally now in its 19th season, and we can be seen exclusively on GCPS TV for the entire 2011-2012 school year. I'm Todd Klein alongside Will Hammock from the Gwinnett Daily Post. And Will, 2012 swimming and diving state championships took place this past weekend, and a trio of Gwinnett teams brought home the big prize.
And a lot of great news, a lot of individual champions, and also great news on the team front. Wesleyan won back-to-back champions in the boys, another championship for the Wolves, and up in 5A, a sweep of the championships by Gwinnett, which has the best swim and dive around, I think. And Brookwood girls winning it for the first time since 2004. Parkview boys winning it for the first time since 2007. So a lot to celebrate down there at Georgia Tech.
Well, let's get right to the basketball highlights, and we start with an important Region 8 showdown as the Shiloh Generals look to keep their title hopes alive, taking on an always difficult South Gwinnett squad trying to prove its region standing. GPR's Chase Watson has more.
This one would be a nail-biter. Start things off on the first Shiloh possession. Amar Basic gets the pass and uses the pump fake, steps back, buries the deuce to get the Generals out to a 2-0 lead. Simeon responds, nailing the corner 3 off the Ray Mobley pass, knotting things up at 5 in the first. Evan Smith lobs one up for the big man, Trayvon Reed, who throws down the alley-oop with authority, making it a 16-11 Shiloh lead still in the first. Shiloh's other big man, Robert Carter, shows off the strength and some nifty post moves here. He gets the baby hook to go, but the Generals trail by 3 in the second. Still in the second, Ray Mobley gets the pass from inside. He drains the deep three-pointer, pushing the South Gwinnett lead to 6, 34-28 just before halftime. The Comets would come out running in the third. Mobley misses the layup, but Terrence Jones cleans it up with a huge follow-up jam, keeping South Gwinnett on top 41-37. Shiloh battling hard in the fourth. Kyle Lewis gets the dish and goes up with it, getting the short shot to fall, and we have a tie game, 47 all in the fourth. The Comets push the ball up court quick. Terrence Jones slings it to a cutting Simeon. He does the rest and breaks the tie, putting South Gwinnett up 2. Kyle Lewis shoots the long pass over to Jordan Gaither. He calmly sinks the big-time 3, taking the lead back for the Generals 55-52 with time winding down. Weaving in and out of traffic, G.J. Hawkins gets inside, puts up the beautiful right-handed floater. It falls and South Gwinnett reclaims the lead 58-55 with under a minute to go. 45 seconds remaining. Reed pushes the pass out to Kyle Lewis in the corner, who drills the clutch three-pointer and puts Shiloh on top 59-58. 2.8 seconds left. The Comets would have a chance for the upset, but Mobley's shot is off the mark, and the Shiloh Generals hang on for a thrilling home win, 59-58 over South Gwinnett.
And looking forward to this region tournament with Shiloh, does anybody in Region 8 have enough size to combat those two giants in the middle?
It makes it tough. I mean, when you talk about a high school team with a 7-footer and then a very skilled 6'8", 6'9" kid that's going to Georgia Tech, it's a lot to handle. But I think guard play, a lot of teams match up pretty well. I think Archer maybe has the best chance to match up with Shiloh. I think they can give Shiloh a run at it. But like you said, Shiloh's definitely has a lot up on the front line to contend with.
And the thing about the region tournament is it's not just winning a region title, it's qualifying for the state tournament. South Gwinnett's gotten close the last couple of years, had good teams, and stumbled in the region tournament. Is this the year that the Comets finally make it through?
I think they got a chance. There's a lot of good to look at this team. Simeon can score points in bunches. I think that he's a big reason why they have a chance. I mean, obviously this is not maybe the most talented team that they've had the last few years, but the region tournament's been a stumbling block. So let's hope this is the year that the Comets can put it together.
Well, the Wesleyan boys basketball team had a chance to wrap up the sub-region's number 2 seed for the upcoming Region 6 tournament as they faced off against visiting Pinecrest Academy. GPR's Nathan Shutter has all the action from Norcross.
Wesleyan looking for a good showing on their home court. First quarter action, Drew Ritter fires the pass to Charles Mack in the post. Mack with the good move, Wolves up 2-0. Pinecrest responds. John Paul Metz over to Zach Gard. The hook shot falls to tie it up at 2. Still in the first, Takeem Williams gets the steal and takes it the other way for the easy wide open layup. In the second quarter, Paladins trailing 13-7. Zach Gard gets the nice turnaround jumper from the free throw line to fall. The Wolves start to get aggressive. McAllister Ball gets the pass and drives it hard to the rack. He draws the contact and gets the bucket. Wesleyan has a 15-11 second quarter lead. In the third quarter, Wesleyan continues to push. Shane Smith lobs the long pass to Will Clifton, who weaves his way to the rim, gets the shot to fall, and picks up the foul. Pinecrest would tie it up in the third when Zach Gard gets the low post shot to drop, 21 all. But Wesleyan would turn up the heat from there. Takeem Williams finds Will Clifton open in the corner, and he buries the three for a 10-point Wolves lead. Then Clifton does it again. This time he burns by his man and takes it to the lane for the layup. Wesleyan gets the 8-point home victory, 62-54 over Pinecrest Academy.
Well, Wesleyan's playing some better basketball now, Will. It looks like as the region tournament is here, that maybe Wesleyan is peaking at the appropriate time.
Yeah, they're playing great. That's why I think this is a state tournament team. They've really turned it on in the last half. You see them playing well in this game. I think Kyle Clifton had 21 in that game. He's been playing great lately. And they really need that number 2 scoring option. Shane Smith's absolutely a top-line player. So if they get another 2 or 3 guys to contribute on the offensive end, if they're hitting their threes, they can probably play with anybody in Class A.
Time now to recap other boys basketball action from this past week. It's brought to you by Breda Pest Management, and we start off with the North Gwinnett Bulldogs.
Yeah, North Gwinnett had a big win over Meadow Creek, 66-42. Also beat Norcross 63-51, which is a sweet win for Chris Bolden, beating his old school. He had 15 points in the win over Meadow Creek, but he's a guy that's a big-time scorer, and he's going to have to be in the state tournament for this North Gwinnett team if they want to go a long way. But he has that kind of experience that can help him out, and I really think the North boys are playing great right now.
Then we move over to Mill Creek. They get a win over Norcross as well.
Yeah, 2 wins last week for Mill Creek. Did a great job. They beat Norcross handily. Their first ever win over the Norcross boys, so that was something to be said there. Paul Evans continues to play well. They beat Meadow Creek also and earned that number 4 seed for the region tournament. I really think this is a state tournament team. They have really solid guard play, a couple of interior posts that really are physical, and that'll help. And
then finally, let's talk a little bit about Dacula. They got a nice win over Central Gwinnett.
Yeah, nice win over Central. They lost a tough one to a very good Brookmore team in a defensive battle last week, but they also beat Central in a good one. Jalen Williams scored 22. This is a Dacula team that's really physical, really strong, and can really get after on the inside. They're going to play tough with anybody, and I think they have a good chance of sneaking their way into the state tournament too. I think they're a very talented basketball team.
We'll go back over to Region 7, talk about that tournament a little bit. To me, the fact that Mill Creek is in as a number 4 seed really shows you how tough this tournament can be. How good of a 4 seed is Mill Creek?
I think they're a very good 4 seed, a very talented basketball team. Like I said, I talked about their guard play that really can control the play when you get into the tournaments. You have to have really strong guard play, and they have 3 really good ones that can really play on any team in the region. And what I really like about them is their defensive intensity. They're going to get after it all game long and never stop on the defensive end, and that gives them a good chance to beat anyone.
Let's go back and talk a little bit about North Gwinnett then. First of all, congratulations to the Bulldogs. They win the region title. This used to be a basketball school. They're back kind of where they expect to be, winning region titles in boys basketball. Chris Bolden, the fact that he's on this squad, that he's been tested in the tournament, does that make them a big-time state tournament team in your mind?
I think it does. I mean, I think, look at this team. They had a few talented players coming back. They were going to be a solid basketball team, maybe a team that was going to sneak into the state tournament. But you throw a guy like Chris Bolden in there, a proven superstar player who can really just go off offensively at any point. It really takes them to that next level. And I think they expect to not only be in the state tournament, but compete for a region championship this week.
Well, let's turn our attention to the ladies, and it's been another big year for the Wesleyan Lady Wolves as they look to close out the regular season unbeaten in region play, and they were playing against visiting Pinecrest Academy. Nathan Shutter has the call.
Wesleyan looking to continue their unbeaten ways in region play, taking on Pinecrest Academy. First quarter, Jordan Frazier zips the pass down to Kayleen Caldwell. She'll finish, Wesleyan up 4-0. Holly Wilkins yanking down the offensive rebound. She puts it right back in and gets hacked in the process. The Lady Wolves were dominant on the glass. Caldwell misses here, but Wilkins cleans it up again, and Wesleyan was rolling. Guess what? Another offensive board. This time it's Missy Bird. She gets the jumper to go. Wesleyan Wolves up 11-1. On the fast break, Katie Firking finds Kendra Talley, who cuts to the rack and gets the layup to fall. Some nice defense here from the Wolves. Nikki McDonald gets the steal, dishes to Firking, who gives it to Talley for the wide open transition bucket. McDonald intercepts another pass and sends it up court. Taylor Blackman does the rest. Wesleyan cruising 32-1. Pinecrest Academy trying to get something going. Maggie Hurd drains the long three, but this one was out of reach. In the fourth, Birkin peels off the screen. He gets the pass in the lane. She puts in the left-hander. It's good. Then it's Jordan Frazier driving hard to the hoop. That made it 64-12. Wesleyan gets the win in a blowout 73-21 over Pinecrest Academy.
Ho-hum, Will. It looks like Wesleyan's had another undefeated region schedule. It's amazing how this Wesleyan team keeps compiling wins. My question to you, put you on the spot, if there were, and it's a big if, somebody was to upset Wesleyan in this tournament, what would they have to possibly do to get that done?
That's an interesting question. I think St. Francis is going to get a chance to find out. I think they're going to play St. Francis, the #2 team in Class A, in the region finals and probably also in the state finals. Both those teams are very talented, so I think for St. Francis to do anything, they really have to kill Wesleyan on the offensive boards, outwork them on the offensive boards, get a lot of second shots, and really make those possessions count, because Wesleyan's going to get after you defensively, but if you can get second shots out on the offensive end, it really gives you a better chance to knock off the Wolves.
Back to the highlights in a Region 8 battle between two teams headed in opposite directions. Of the South Gwinnett Lady Comets held on to hopes of grabbing the #2 seed for the region tournament, while the Shiloh Lady Generals tried to stay out of the cellar. Chase Watson has all the action from Snellville.
Shiloh looking for a much-needed victory on their home court. Get things started quickly in this one. Ivana Dunkley pulls down the board and pushes the ball up court to a racing Samantha McCombs, who glides in for the layup and puts the Lady Comets up 2-0. Courtney Hector fires the rock down into the post. Uche Ibabunjo snags the pass and goes up for the easy bucket and takes the lead back for Shiloh 5-4 in the first quarter. Kira Ward running the point sends the ball over to Hector, who squares up and drains the long jumper for the home team, pushing the lead to 4 early on in this one. Off the quick inbound pass from Dunkley, Elisa Johnson finds herself an easy scoring opportunity and pulls South Gwinnett back to within 2 in the second. Ivana Dunkley comes up with a loose ball here. She turns on the Jets and makes her way to the rack and finishes with a tough right-hander over the defender. Jashana Johnson ends up wide open behind the arc and drills the deep three-pointer from the side to take the lead back for South Gwinnett just before the half. Elisa Johnson comes up with another big play, intercepting the pass and doing the rest all by herself. Hector can't catch up and she gets the layup to fall. Lady Comets by 3 in the fourth. Then off the assist from Dunkley, Samantha McCombs puts up the jumper and gets the shooter's bounce to extend the fourth quarter lead for South Gwinnett to 5. Some more sharp shooting for the Lady Comets. McCombs takes the inbounds pass in the corner and launches the triple. It's good, and South Gwinnett was rolling in the fourth quarter. Phoenicia Henderson finishes this one off here. She gets the steal and races up court, laying it in and over the defender. South Gwinnett comes away with the road victory, 37-31 at Shiloh.
South Gwinnett gets the win, Will. They did not get the #2 seed, but they won a coin flip to get the #3 seed, puts them in good position. What kind of a player can South Gwinnett be in this region tournament?
I think South Gwinnett can do well. I mean, really, it starts with defense. They really struggle on the offensive end to find consistent offense, but their defense never quits, and that's why they've been able to be so successful this year. That you saw even in that last highlight, the steal. That's what South does. They create offense by turnovers, by forcing mistakes out of the other team, and this was a classic defensive battle by the Comets, and they've been playing well, so I think they can do very good things in this region tournament.
Time now to recap other girls hoops action from this past week. It's brought to you by Tommy Lee Carpets, and we begin with the Mill Creek Lady Hawks.
It's kind of a victory they got that shocked some people. Defeated Norcross 67-53. Of course, Norcross is without Diamond Shields, so that definitely gets an asterisk. But Jasmine Carter is as good as there is around here, 22 points. When she's on, that team can really beat a lot of people. They can also shoot the three-pointer well, which really makes them dangerous, and that's going to be a factor in the region tournament. If Mill Creek's hitting the threes, they can contend with anybody.
Let's talk about Duluth. They're going to be the #4 seed in the Region 7 tournament.
It was a big victory for Duluth to beat Peachtree Ridge. Katie Powell had a monster game in that one with 30 points. She's a very talented post, 6'3". She's going to do a lot of big things at the college level. I think she's kind of one of the more underrated players in Gwinnett County. She's a very good player. Duluth also beat Mountain View last week, so they've got some momentum going into the region tournament.
Finally, let's talk about the undefeated Parkview Lady Panthers.
Yeah, they just kind of walked through the regular season, really haven't been challenged at all, whether in region or out of region, really haven't been challenged this season. So it'll be interesting to see when they get some of the state's top teams here in the state playoffs, how they respond. But really a very talented, very deep Parkview team. I think that's what stands out. Their leading scorer won't have more than 13, 14 points, but they get after it on defense.
And we'll stay in here talking about Parkview. I mean, a lot of attention goes to Region 7, and rightfully so, with Norcross and North Gwinnett. Seems like maybe Parkview doesn't quite get quite as much pub, even though they have this undefeated season. What kind of run do you expect them to be in the state tournament? Should they be mentioned in the same breath with North Gwinnett and Norcross?
I think they have a lot of potential. I think that you can certainly say that they can contend with Norcross and North and be in that level. They just, like you said, don't get a lot of respect because of the region they play in. It's not the strongest this year, and really hadn't been tested, been blowing out everybody. So I think a lot of people are going to see what happens once they get some more of the state's talented teams up against them, seeing how they fare.
And you mentioned that Norcross had a tough week. A lot of that, Mill Creek gets a win when Diamond Shields does not play. But does that give Mill Creek some confidence to maybe break up that top two of North Gwinnett and Norcross at this week's tournament?
I think it does. It's a Norcross team that's definitely got a lot of talent even without Diamond to Shields. So to play as well as they did and really just take control of that game, win it going away, was a big confidence boost for the Hawks. And I think it's a talented team. It's a team that's used to success and deep playoff runs. So certainly any confidence that they could get would help them. And I think the Hawks are going to go down the stretch and make a good run in this region.
Time now for Will's World. We put 60 seconds on the clock. We get in the mind of our very own Will Hammock. It's brought to you by Nexstar Communications.
It's State Wrestling Week in Gwinnett. It's a big showcase for the state's top wrestlers. It's over at the Gwinnett Arena. The crowds are ridiculous for this. If you haven't been over there to see it, it's really intense atmosphere, really exciting. There's always something going on all the mats, and it's really the marquee event for high school wrestling, really in the nation. I don't think anything compares to this. They said it's the largest wrestling tournament in the nation for high school, so it's a lot of good wrestling to see. And talking about the region tournament, going back to Region 8, really the Region 8 and Region 7 boys chases are really up for grabs. I don't know who's going to win those regions. It's going to come down to probably 2 or 3 teams in both those regions. It could go either way, and it's going to be exciting to see here over the next few days. It's probably going to see some upsets as usual, but I think it's going to be exciting down the stretch to see which teams win that. And the last thing we're talking about a little bit is Maya Moore. She's this week looking to be picked for the U.S. Olympic team. It's probably going to happen for us. I know it's a goal of hers, and she's been winning everywhere. Right now she's hooping overseas. She's playing in Spain and doing very well over there. She's enjoying an overseas lifestyle. That's what the WNBA players do in the offseason to make a little extra money. And she's playing well there. I think she'll come back and maybe win another WNBA title this summer.
Before we come back to basketball, we'll want to talk to you a little bit about that wrestling. I think people that maybe aren't big wrestling fans, don't know a lot about it, probably don't understand quite the spectacle that this state tournament is and the amount of people that will be at the Gwinnett Arena this weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty overwhelming to see it if you've never been out there just to take a look. I mean, the crowds are into it, very excited. And it's one of the more well-attended things we have. I mean, it draws a lot more people than the state basketball tournament that we host in Gwinnett every year. So really, it's something great to see, and Gwinnett kids are always doing well in it, so that's another good reason to get out there.
Well, getting back to basketball, because we are in the region tournament for the basketball, and you talk about the Region 7 and Region 8 being very wide open. My question going back to Region 7 is we talked a little about North Gwinnett, we talked a little bit about Mill Creek. Norcross, to me, is an interesting team. What they did last year, I know they lost a lot of parts, but is Norcross kind of in the right frame of mind to make a run in this region tournament?
Yeah, Norcross boys are kind of struggling right now. They've really been banged up and missing a lot of their key players. I think really health is going to be what decides how well they do in the tournament. They've been missing some of their key players. If they can get them back healthy and in the lineup, I mean, a leader like Jason Kroom's been out with a shoulder problem for so long. They get him back, I mean, they could really do some damage in the tournament. But without those guys, they've really been struggling lately to put some wins together.
Time now to focus on standout performances, so let's move on to this week's Building Blocks presented by Britt's Home Furnishing. And first up is Kyle Lewis from Shiloh.
That's a great game by Kyle. He's an athletic junior, about 6'3". He's really a guy that can shoot the ball pretty well too, so you saw that. He hit the game-winning shot in this one. 20 points, 8 rebounds. I think he plays for a very good team. He's really active in this game on the offensive end. You see him scoring off a rebound there, and obviously there's the big 3. So he's a guy that really needs to step it up with those big guys inside, all those guards.
You're talking about a big-time game. Simeon Dennis put up some really fantastic numbers in this game.
Yeah, he's a big-time scorer. He's a guy that played at Central Gwinnett before he got over to South this year, and he's really exploded as their go-to scorer. And they've really needed him to, and he definitely, every game in and game out, really puts up the points. He really did it in this one with 36 points. He's a guy that, like we said earlier, can go off offensively, and if he has a game like that, they can beat anyone.
And then we'll move over to the girls' side. Samantha McCombs having a big game for South Gwinnett.
Yeah, South Gwinnett girls really, like we talked about earlier, don't really put up the points by the bunches on offense. So anytime a player like Samantha McCombs can step up, 9 points, 10 rebounds, 9 points is actually a lot of points for South Gwinnett. Their leading scorer doesn't even average in double figures. So anytime they get a boost offensively like they did from Samantha, it's a great thing.
Well, our thanks to Britt's Home Furnishing for this week's Building Blocks. Will, who else played well last week that we should mention?
Going back to the Norcross girls, the North Gwinnett girls really ran away with that, beat Norcross big time, and Lexi Brown just had a huge game. 30 points, 8 assists, 6 steals, and she was just really all over the place. North Gwinnett star player, showing that mono really hasn't slowed her down at all.
All right, we're out of time, but you can visit us online at GwinnettPrepRally.com for the world-famous message board and video highlights. And you can also keep up with GPR on Twitter and our Facebook fan page. Be sure to join us next week for more highlights and features on Gwinnett Prep Rally every Tuesday through Friday right here on GCPS TV. For Will Hammock and all of us here at GPR, I'm Todd Klein. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you under the lights.
Grab some wood there, bub.